This is written in Romans 8, of course. 28, it says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to His purpose." So, of course, you have to love God. That's kind of the premise here. And those who love God, everything works out for good. And that is the faith that we need to really grow in, because life is full of surprises and things may not seem so good. But if you know that you love God, that is assurance for you that even that bad thing that you're going through is good. This scripture, of course, is used, abused, and misused. And if you read this verse, it's one verse. These are not just words, but I'd like us to look at our own lives, each and every one of us sitting here. And there is a key word in here that's often not stressed enough, or when we read this verse, we really don't understand that word. All I wanted to underscore was one word: together. There's a word called together. And know that all things work together. And I wanted to say that if we look at our lives, what this means is, if you look at your life and everything that ever happens in life, even if they're bad things, it's as if someone planned it so that all these things together lead you to good, which is love, which is heaven, which is God Himself. Things by themselves don't have that effect. But if you put them all together, it's a big plan that we sometimes do not see or do not understand because we're too tiny, we're too little, and we're limited in time, and we judge things in that moment and at that time. But it's all things together. It's your entire life together, which is really what everyone was talking about. And I was like, this is cool. The life of those who love God is not haphazard. It is not some random series of events that have nothing to do with the next. Every single event in the life of those who love God works out together with the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, to lead the person to good, which is to grow in love and to be obedient to God, to be worthy of His kingdom. Events in our lives, don't ever look at them separately as if, okay, well, this happened and it didn't have anything to do with the next thing that happened. That is not true. Our lives, for those who love God, and I underscore only for those who love God, because those who don't love God, it doesn't work this way. But those who love God, their life is mapped out, predefined, if you will, so that you will get to good. That's the plan. And so even if something looks bad, that's not the end, because that, together with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, works out for good. Not just one thing alone, but you don't see the big picture. And if you really look at your past, at your own past, you could probably come to that conclusion even yourself with your own mind. It's like, yeah, I thought it was all terrible, but then something else, and then something else, and then here I am. But it wasn't just one thing, right? It's all these things together. In other words, your entire life and all things in your life together work out for the best, which is God Himself. That's the best. Everything is towards heaven. And things you're going through, it will lead to the next thing, and then the next thing. And those things together will be good. Even though this one thing may seem confusing. But we're always seeing small things. We're just so limited. But God's vision is endless.